Oh, yes, welcome back. We have a live roundtable review with the Pot Heels. We are talking Impact Wrestling Knockout Knockdown. We have a Knockouts tournament to crown a future number one contender. We got the champion in one hell of a match, not defending her title, but getting ready to defend her title. And then we also have some tag team action mixed in with a little hardcore, a Monsters Bowl, if you want to call it that. Chris G, three-time maybe making championess, Mary Jane, Impact Wrestling. Let's get funky. Ladies and gentlemen, heels and heelettes, welcome back to another episode. Well, it's not really a blunt impact episode, but this is the roundtable review with the Pot Heels. We are reviewing Impact Wrestling's Knockout Knockdown all women's pay-per-view. It was on Impact Plus October 9th. It was a Saturday. Hell of a show. We are going to review it from top to bottom. They had a nice tournament for a number one contender. We also had some tag team action. We had the champion in action, and we also had a couple debuts, returns, nice couple surprises, nice little tribute to the late Daphney. But overall, a good show. I am your boy Chris G, of course, with my co-host Mary Jane, and I am joined by my tag team partner, the three-time baby making champion of the world, Ness. How you feeling today, brother?
Feeling mighty fine, good brother. True Heels, what's the deal? This was a great Impact Plus special. Shout out to all the knockouts that were involved, all the ladies. They put on a phenomenal show, and it just goes to show what you can do or what we can get out of being
Mhm.
wrestling fans when you let your female counterparts go out there and actually perform. Not these
Yeah.
1 minute, 2, 3, 4 minute matches. No, they went out there and they had a whole pay per view of great content. So
Yep.
kudos to them. And yeah, that's this is what we're all inclusive. This isn't NX3, NXT 2.0 with Joe Gacy. No, we are all inclusive. Everybody should be able to shine.
Everybody should be able to shine. And that includes you guys. So, everybody at home watching along with us, we hope you shine by subscribing and becoming part of the True Heel Heat family. If this is your first time here, drop us a subscription, drop us a like, hit those thumbs up. If you're watching on Facebook, drop us an emoji. If you're watching on Twitter, drop us a heart. Tell us you're with us. Hit that comment section. Let us know how you feel about the show. If you didn't watch it, let us know how you feel about us reviewing the show. We want to engage with everybody at home, but we do go through a lot of comments. So if you want yours guaranteed read on air, you have to send us a super chat anywhere between $1 to $1 million. We're not picky, but the more the
More
better.
so on the million side, but
Yeah,
it's
more
all
so on the
good. We're
million side.
appreciative of anything you guys are able to provide for us.
Yes, we're not begging. We're not begging to send us those super chats. But no, yes, and comment, share the video. Doesn't matter who you're sharing with. They don't like wrestling, fuck them. Share them anyway. They better like women. They don't like women, fuck it. Share them anyway. Show them what they're missing out. That the women of Impact Wrestling can actually perform. And hit that bell for the notifications whenever we go live, whenever we drop a video, whether it's live or recorded. You'll be notified so you can join us whenever we pop up. And we also have a Patreon, but we'll talk about that later at the end of the show. Right now, we got to talk about Knockout Knockdown Impact Plus special. Uh, Nice little tournament. This was the main focus of this pay-per-view. You can see the bracket right here on screen. Um, we'll break down the matches. We'll go from the first round to the second round to the third round, the finals, but and everything in between. But before that, we got to start with a little bit of news because we have a new tag team of women coming to Impact Wrestling, and they will be debuting at Bound for Glory. You might know them as the Iconics, but now they are the Inspiration, and they are bound for glory. See what I did there? They will be there October 23rd. Cassie Lee, Jessie McKay. Happy to see both of these women. I said it months ago when they first got released. I want to see these women on Impact Wrestling. I think
Yes.
Impact Wrestling could use them. And I got my wish. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass. I don't think it will though. But are you excited, Ness, to see the former Iconics, the new inspiration in Impact Wrestling?
I am very much excited to see these ladies join Impact Wrestling. I think Impact needs more faces to not even just their own brand, but definitely for the Knockouts division. I like the fact that they're bringing in a full tag team because that was starting to get a little dry. There's a lot of singles individuals in Impact, but the face as far as the tag team division was getting a little kind of repetitive. Still good, but we want to see a little different of matchups, and they were kind of like starting to run out of different fresh faces and matchups. So right now, as at the moment, what I want to see the interaction between the influence and the inspiration. I think that's going to be great. Who knows how they'll come in? They were heels for the most part in WWE, but like I think they can definitely come in as baby faces, and again, a lot of people were fans of them, so they can definitely have that baby face backing to them because they're very charismatic. I think they were okay in the ring. Now we can hopefully see them be a little better or do a little better in case if 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 only if they were being held back because we know how the WWE style is. Maybe we can get a little bit more out of them going forward. But yeah, I'm definitely ready to see them, and it's perfect. I think they'll thrive here. I would me personally, I would rather much see them in Impact than anywhere else. Honestly, to be completely honest, I think going to Impact is going to be a bright spot for them.
Yes, me too. I think they'll have the most opportunity to showcase their personality here, but they'll also have the chance to get into the ring and show that they were underutilized. So
Yeah,
hopefully everything goes well with them, and we'll see them in Bound for Glory, which is shaping up to be a good card. And you never know, we might find more surprises on that show. But
yeah.
before we get to Bound for Glory, we have to talk about the rest of this card. And before we talk about the rest of this card, we have to light up Mary Jane. I almost fucking forgot. Shame on me. I almost forgot to light up the Mary. Ness, do you have any Mary today? Or you got
Now
the
I'm on the
hookah
hookah.
going?
I got the hookah going. I'm saving the rest of my Mary for this week's episode. I'm running
Okay.
out, I'm running low. So I was like, fuck it. I'm not gonna skimp out on myself and have to, either eat it because I'm out of that too.
Smart man.
Yeah.
He's still he's
Yeah.
still
By the
thinking
time by the
about the
time we
future
get there,
episodes.
yeah, it's got to plan ahead.
Comment from Frantic World. What's up, Chris G Ness in chat? Our good brother, welcome back. Good to see you again. We hope you got your Mary Jane. Everybody else at home, we hope you got your Mary Jane, whether it's a blunt, joint, bong, bowl, apple, Pepsi can, whatever you smoking out of these days. Make
Yeah,
sure you got your Mary
just don't
Jane
get
ready.
lockjaw out of that. I heard that's the thing because I used to make bongs out of like tinfoil and aluminum cans and shit like that. And people like, oh, you can get lockjaw. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. And then I was like, all right, yeah, I don't want lockjaw. So
And then one day, one day
yeah,
you cook the, your Ness, you okay? Yeah,
yeah. Fucking like Kanye West after the accident.
I just hit the bong, man. Ness, what you do to do the
Of
honors of counting us
course,
down.
sure will. Gotta get the drum roll going. 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
All right. The first match we are going to start with today is not the debuting. She's been here before, but it is Lady Frost going up against Rachel Ellering in a round one matchup. This was a solid match. I like how in the first round, every woman before they came out, they had little intro video package for each of them, so you get a little background on them. Lady Frost, pretty cool. We've seen a little bit from her. She looks like she can move. Matter of fact, this was a solid match. She showed that she can move. Good back and forth. Good showing for Lady Frost. We already know what to expect out of Rachel Ellering at this point. Back and forth matchup, but Rachel Ellering is just too strong. She hits a nice black hole slam for the win. She is going on to the next round. I gave this match 2 3/4 stars, and I thought it was a pretty solid opener to start us off. How'd you feel?
I went a little high on this match. I gave this 3 1/4. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of back and forth. Not really so much back and forth action, but Rachel put in that work. Lady Frost, no slight to her, she had a good showing, but yeah, this was definitely Rachel Ellering's match, and it was supposed to be. No slight to Lady Frost, but she was just visiting, so to speak. Rachel Ellering is a Impact mainstay, one of the faces of the Knockouts tag team division, and just in the Knockouts division as a whole. So it was nice to see her get a decisive win over Lady Frost and build momentum going forward into this in this tournament. So 3 1/4, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I hope she's not just visiting. I hope she's a mainstay. I hope she comes back more often. Uh,
Yeah,
she looks like another hand that Impact Wrestling could use for that Knockouts division.
yeah,
We're
for
all
sure.
about depth here, you know. You want to keep building that depth. And speaking of depth, Renee Michelle has a lot of depth. Maybe not in her wrestling, but Renee Michelle has a
Got a
lot
lot of whiff too on her chest.
of depth. She is going up against Chelsea Green in this round one matchup. But this match was decent. Renee looked better. She looks improved from the last time we seen her. She's a little more fluid in the ring. She had control for most of this match, but then Chelsea Green makes a comeback. She's just too much towards the end. Hits the unprettier for the win. She will be going on to the second round. And I gave this match 2 1/4 stars. Solid, nothing crazy, but I like the improvement in Renee Michelle's game. How about you?
Yeah, I agree with that. With that rating, 2 1/4, it was all right. Nothing crazy. It was actually a nice matchup because although I like again, uh, Renee Michelle did improve, it just didn't wow me. I kind of feel that way about Chelsea Green, despite how she looks. She's a very beautiful woman. She doesn't really wow me in the ring, and that match really didn't wasn't like one of the like sleeper like bangers out of this tournament that and I didn't expect it to be, but it was solid for what it was. It was entertaining though, but they were like in the lockups and trying to like get control over their opponent and stuff, and then they were doing the like rolling around like a cat fight, but still locked up. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then the one spot where Chelsea Green just pretty much just drops Renee Michelle on her face. She's like, my beautiful face. Like how the Miz would be with his face thinking like, oh, it's the moneymaker. It's the moneymaker right here. And yeah, well, that's one of her moneymakers. But I don't want to be that guy right now. Let me relax. Let me calm down.
Oh,
But
you are
yeah.
that guy right now.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna
You are
be
that guy
that
right now.
guy.
It's
But
fine. I'll be that guy too.
yeah, yeah, it's very, 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 very nice match. But again, nothing too crazy. So yeah, 2 1/4 stars. I agree with that.
2 1/4 stars. Moving on in the first round, we have to go on to Tasha Steele's. Oh, well, actually, before we get there, we're going to talk about Brandy Lauren, her fine, creepy ass, taking on Mercedes Martinez, the vet, the legend, the OG, and a surprisingly short first round match. Um, I say surprisingly because I didn't the short aspect wasn't what surprised me. It was how it was booked because Brandy looked pretty aggressive throughout the match, however long it was, and then just out of nowhere, Mercedes kind of hit this top rope razor's edge into a like fucking face plant move, and she gets the win. So it
Yeah,
felt like,
I forgot what she calls it.
yeah, it looked nice, but I mean, it was just
Sudden. Yeah.
abrupt. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it. I only gave this match a quarter and 3 stars, but in a tournament, I guess you kind of do need a match like this, so can't be too mad about it. How'd you feel about this?
Yeah, I'll give it one star. Solely because it wasn't like much. Uh Again, it's kind of funny though because the power of the undead bride power that Brandy Lauren and Kimberly and Sue Young they all have. You would expect for this match to go some time, but it didn't. But that just shows how powerful, how much of a threat that Mercedes Martinez was going to be going forward in this tournament. So yeah, nothing. One, it wasn't anything crazy, and then two, it was a short match. So one star.
Yeah, nothing crazy. Hopefully Mercedes has a better match in the second round, which I'm sure she will. But we got to finish off the first round with Tasha Steeles taking on Jamie Senegal. I believe Jamie was trained by Daphney, which this show has pretty much been attributed to. This match was put together. They had a nice 10 bell salute earlier in the beginning of the show. The whole roster was out there, and it was for Daphney and for all the women and men that have gave their bodies and gave their lives for this industry in the last few years that have passed away. We get thank you Daphney chants. Very emotional, but very well deserved and fitting for this event. But on to Tasha versus Jamie. Solid back and forth. We got some innovative offense. Jamie hit a nice like rolling. She rolled on Tasha's back while she was laid up on the ropes and then rolled back down and then German suplexed her. So that was a nice little touch. Tasha Steeles with a nice little corner springboard bulldog off the second rope. That was pretty cool. She hits the crucifix bomb for the 1, 2, 3. I gave this match 2.25 stars. I enjoyed it. This is my first time seeing Jamie Senegal. She's not bad. Would like to see her more in Impact Wrestling. Why not? But yeah, that first round wasn't bad. I think the first round served its purpose. It gave us a few solid matches and just building on to the next round. How'd you feel?
Yeah, I gave this 2.5 stars. Again, I like the action, nice back and forth action between the two. I wouldn't mind seeing Jamie Senegal again in the knockouts division because again, we need these fresh faces. We need more depth in this division because again, let's add to it. Depth is always good. It's always to have more options and see more faces. And it just shows that the relationship that Impact has with the rest of the wrestling industry. There's a lot of talent on this card that I've either heard of or seen in other promotions. So it was nice. And then like you said, how with the like the before the match, like the pre-match video packaging and the vignettes of every talent that was in there, we see their backstories, we see that where they're from, what they've done, their history. And like you said, this was a part of uh this is all for Daphney. At the end of the day, this was a tribute show pretty much for her. And they all like this is somebody that she was trained by, or trained that she trained actually in Jamie Senegal. So it was nice to show that, like they had that again, how influential that she was to Impact and just wrestling as a whole for the women, and then to have somebody on the card that not only had like a personal relationship with her but was trained by her.
Mhm.
Up until this point, that's all nice and dandy, but Tasha Steele had to get that win, baby.
Mhm.
The but equal badass had to get that win, and there's an underlying story here. And once we get to that point, I'll dive more into it to explain. But yeah, this was another nice match. 2.5 stars.
Yeah, really enjoyed this match. We want to see more Jamie Senegal. So would Bobby Batito. I would like to see more of Jamie Senegal on Impact Wrestling. We agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we get into the second round, we got to talk about Diana Perrazzo going into a pick your poison match, and Mickey James picked her opponent, and that opponent is none other than Masha Slamovich, the debuting Masha Slamovich on Impact Wrestling. If you haven't seen Masha, I believe last time I seen Masha, she was like on a a Mission Pro Wrestling. I might have caught like a glimpse of her, but I need more Masha Slamovich in my life,
Yeah,
whether it's
real
on
shit.
Impact Wrestling or wherever else. She is fucking awesome. She takes out Ray Walt with like a beautiful flip off a second rope. She gives me Ruby Riot, but like mixed with like fucking Thunder Rosa vibes. Like she's just like a ball of energy.
Yeah.
Uh, Brutal suplexes on Deanna, but Deanna working the arm, trying to keep her on the mat for most of the match. Uh, Deanna gets her to tap out at the end to a double arm bar, but I mean, Masha Slamovich made a statement. Like she is ready to be in front of a big audience. So hopefully, I think Gail Kim came out afterwards and praised her. Might have even gave her a contract. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing Masha Slamovich in Impact Wrestling going forward. But this was a great way to introduce her against the champ. She held her own. I gave this 3.25 stars. Actually, I'm gonna give this 3.5 stars because I really enjoyed it. And yeah, more Masha. That's all I want.
I love this match. And when I say I love this match, me personally, I gave this match 4.25 stars, solely based off of I've seen Masha Slamovich. First of all, Slamovich is the most original, like dope ass name. Slam. She's a wrestler.
It's so simple, but it's so
But
fun.
and
It's
it
so
works,
good.
and it
Yeah.
fucking works. Slamovich. Oh, that's dope as shit. So my first time seeing her perform was on another all women's pay per view in Empower for the NWA. I reviewed that's on our channel. I reviewed that with SP3 and the Stat King. That was my first time seeing Masha Slamovich perform, and again, that's when I really was introduced to her. And I became a fan initially. One, I became a fan because of her name, and then I became a fan of her in-ring work. And it just showed in this match. She was actual competition for our reigning defending knockouts women's champion, Deanna Purrazzo. And it again, she took the fight to Deanna, she took the fight to Matthew Raywalt. It was a lot of back and forth action. Clearly we knew who was going to win at the end of the day. And another thing that I liked about this match was commentary. Mickey James having Mickey James be on commentary for this match, knowing the history that she has with Deanna Purrazzo and
Mm.
having the bias that she had against her, because clearly, I don't know if she's contracted to NWA or she just like performs there, but I know she was in NWA, so clearly, obviously Mickey wants her to win. That's somebody that she brought in. That's who she picked for the Pick Your Poison match. They have a relationship in the business of both being in the NWA. So clearly that's, who she will want to go over Indiana. And she played that so well on commentary. Like, it's first we just get the match. The match was great. Then it's the little things like commentary, just Mickey just being so biased and just being behind Masha so just like so much. It was great. I really enjoyed every part, every aspect of the match. I also enjoyed the fact that Mickey was just saying like, yo, Deanna's great. She's a phenomenal performer. I don't think she's a bad, like, she's amazing. I just don't like her attitude. So
Mhm.
she's like, she just kept it real at the end of the day. Like, there's a lot of, talented people in the world that we might not agree with, their actions or like their attitude and the way they carry themselves, but at the end of the day we can respect them for their talent. And that's another thing that I really enjoyed about this match. But again, at the end of the day, Deanna, the Demon Slayer Purrazzo is what we call her right here on Blunt Impact. She went out there, showed why she's the reigning defending knockouts women's champion, the Reina's women's champion from AAA, why she is the virtuosa, why she is the face of the knockout division in Impact Wrestling. And again, I went high on this match with the rating. I'm a Deanna Purrazzo mark. That probably has a lot to do with it. But again, both of these ladies put on a phenomenal match. I really enjoyed it. I would love to see. That's another talent I would love to see back in Impact Wrestling against Deanna again. Who knows? Like, I don't care who she faces. Honestly, I just want
Mhm.
to see her back in Impact because I think, no pun intended, she made an impact. Definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Now we got to move on to the second round. We have two matches in the second round. The first one is Mercedes Martinez taking on Rachel Ellering in a physical, back and forth, hard hitting match. These women, they respect each other. They give each other a handshake before they even start fighting. Nice power moves on both sides. I mean, I wanted more of this match, to be honest. And it was the right amount of time. It wasn't too short. It wasn't too long. It was the right amount of time. But I mean, it was good. It was so physical that I just wanted to see him beat the shit out of each other more. Rachel hits the black hole slam on Mercedes, but she rolls out towards the ring or out of the ring, almost out of the ring to avoid the pin. Eventually, they get up and Mercedes hits her finishing move, and then she picks her up and puts her into submission for the win. And afterwards, we get a post match hug. Both women embrace, sign of respect, good show of respect, good sportsmanship, but most importantly, a very good match. I gave this 3.25 stars as well. Um, Shit, between these last two matches, really two really good matches, and just it kept me intrigued. It's not easy. This is a 3 hour pay-per-view. Sometimes in a 3 hour pay-per-view, you get those down matches, and they put these matches right in the right time because it kept us invested. I really enjoyed this match. How about you?
Yeah, I gave this match 3.5 stars. Again, another match. I definitely agree that a, a- it left a little bit more to be desired, solely in my opinion, because the match started off really slow. Again, these are both like powerhouses. They bring that energy as well. Really technical, but it just seemed like it was. I don't want to call it dragon, but it just seemed like it didn't hit a gear until like after some time in the match, and then once it hit that gear, there was a little bit more to be desired because I wanted to see that amount of energy that they had in the beginning of the match. Like I really wanted to see it throughout the whole match, but it was, a tournament style match. Rachel Ellering was injured, kayfabe. She was working hurt this match, so obviously she's not going to go 100 full throttle 100% throughout the whole match. Versus Mercedes Martinez, who made pretty much quick work of her opponent in the first round. So I also enjoyed how Rachel Ellering. She's just always happy to be here, smiling, bubbly attitude. Which after a while, Mercedes Martinez was like, "All right, enough of this shit. We here to fight."
All right.
It's like Rachel Ellering's going for the handshake. Mercedes Martinez like, nah, I ain't. Like they had the first like fist bump. All right, it's
They,
cool.
they tried to
And
do the second
yeah,
one, and she was like,
it was
"Nah,
like,
let's
nah,
let's
nah,
go.
nah. You'll get that shit after the match. After I kick your
You
ass.
about to get these hands? I don't know about
Yeah,
this handshake."
yeah. I'll give you a hand, but it's gonna be a fist to the face. And like she even slapped the shit out of her at one point. I think, but that's because she wanted to fire her up to get the best out of Rachel Ellering. Again, we couldn't get that because she was working hurt as far as kayfabe wise. But again, once they did hit that second gear, they were really brawling and going back and forth and going at it. So I gave this match 3.5 stars. Post match, they embraced, and it was it was beautiful to see at that point because they put a hurting on each other. Then it was the sign of respect shown. So I enjoyed this match as well.
Yeah. The next second round match, which was a decent match too, not as good as this match, but it was a good match, and it's Tasha Steele's going up against Chelsea Green. Another physical match. Tasha just playing mind games the whole match. Chicken shit heel vibes, trying to take advantage, going outside, buying time. They hit each other with some hard ass headbutts, both of them.
Yeah,
Nice missile drop kick from the top rope from Chelsea Green onto Tasha. Chelsea kicks out of the crucifix bomb, which is what Tasha used to win the first round match. And then Tasha kicks out of the unprettier, which is what Chelsea used to win her first round match.
yeah,
They climb up to the top rope. Chelsea tries to go for a top rope unprettier, but she fucks up, doesn't get it, falls hard. Tasha Steele follows up with the frog splash. She gets the win. This match is over. The finals are set. It is Tasha Steele's going up against Mercedes Martinez. This match I felt was a little too long because it felt like it dragged in certain spots, but it was still good. I gave it 3 stars. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I give it 3.25. I liked it. I did think it definitely dragged in some spots. Um, Again, no slight to Chelsea Green, but I don't think she's at the level of Tasha Steele, so that's probably why it did drag. One can go full throttle and turn up. One can get there sometimes, but other times it's not. But again, it was some nice back and forth action. It was a lot of chicken heel shit moves from Tasha Steele's, but that's what she was supposed to do. You know, like Chelsea Green is the baby face, a fan favorite. Tasha Steele also a fan favorite, but she's also an asshole at the end of the day with this persona that she's providing currently. Another aspect of the match that you just described that I like, that they both hit each other with the moves that they used to win their first round matches, and
Hmm.
both kicked out after, pin attempts. So it was just like, all right, I'm going to try to use what I'm going to go to the well and use what I know I can win with, but it wasn't the finisher, it wasn't the finish to the match. And that just showed the tenacity from both women that they wanted to get this victory. And what I love about the finish to this match, this match happened last night, Saturday night, October 9th, which, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday was the birthday of one beloved legend in wrestling, legend lucha libre, legend of just all around, Eddie Guerrero. So the fact that Tasha Steele's won this match with the frog splash
Mm.
just sold me even more on Tasha moving to the finals of this tournament. And I again, underlying little things like that, just like I described with Masha Slamovich versus Deanna Perrazzo, now with Chelsea Green versus Tasha Steele's. Like, the little things add the most subtle details in a bigger picture overall. So again, I really enjoyed and appreciate that aspect of the match. 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it.
Yep. Great match. Both second round matches hit and should set up for a great finals. But before we get into the great finals, Frantic World ask, how was the Monsters Ball match? We'll get into that, good brother. We'll get into that. That's actually going to be the next match we'll talk about. But before we talk about that match, we got to talk about a little induction into the Hall of Fame. The Impact Hall of Fame is getting a new inductee. Christy Hemme comes out. She comes back for I don't know how many years it's been since we've seen her in TNA or Impact Wrestling, but damn, Christy Hemme still looks like Christy Hemme. And
Yeah.
she is inducting Awesome Kong into the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. She's very emotional. She talks about helping out the next generation, which is something, I mean, that goes beyond wrestling, right? That should just be
Yes.
a life lesson about helping out the next generation. But uh, pays tribute to Daphney and, smiles all around. Awesome Kong definitely deserves to be inducted into that Hall of Fame. Uh, an imposing figure when she was in the height of the knockouts division, so it's good to see her get her rightful spot in history or in Impact history, wrestling history.
Yeah, definitely. Much deserving, much deserving. I love the fact that they're taking the time to add her to their Hall of Fame, especially on a night like this, where we're paying tribute to uh, one historian for Impact's women's division in Daphney. Now we'll be inducting uh Awesome Kong into it. The thing that kills me about this whole segment is how soft spoken that Awesome Kong really is. When you see her, you're like, fuck, yo, she's a fucking beast. Like, over the years that we've watched her perform in the ring, it's like, I would never expect her to be like so soft spoken and just so meek and mild.
Mhm.
I clearly, she's playing up on a character, and in real life, she just seemed like she was such a sweetheart, and she was very emotional. Again, I love the fact that she just said it's not even about me. She shared the moment with the late Daphney, and then talking about how we have to provide, or how they have to provide for the next generation, because at the end of the day, that's what you got to do. You got to keep legacies going, but focus on your own legacy. The best thing about it is giving back to the new generation that'll be there when you're not in the ring no more, when you don't perform and you're no longer an active member of a roster. There's a whole lineup of talent that has to carry on the company's legacy. And I think that all the ladies that are currently in Impact have that person in Awesome Kong to say, like, look, you paved the way for us. We're
Hmm.
Impact has this history of there being pretty much the first company or the main company in the States to showcase their women, to say, hey, we can have women main event, we can have women have all female wrestling pay-per-views, and they draw. So the fact that they're inducting Awesome Kong, it just felt right. Everything about this felt right. Got a
Yep.
little emotional because, again, she was emotional. It kind of hit me in the feels. And like, even the Christy Hemme don't even look like she aged whatsoever. So
At
like,
all.
yeah, at all. So it was a good moment all around. And I also actually I like the fact that they had Christy Hemme come out and do it instead of having Gail Kim come out again, because we just had her at Slammiversary.
Yeah.
So it was nice to switch it up and get another Impact historian in Christy Hemme. It just shows that this whole pay-per-view is just about Impact's, pretty much, for their Knockouts division, the past, the present, and then the future going forward. So kudos to Awesome Kong,
Mhm.
kudos to Christy Hemme, kudos to the whole Knockouts division. It was just a great moment all around.
Yep. Just fit. It just really fit with this show. It was a good. It was a good feel good moment. Just another one.
Yeah.
And now we got to move on to the Monsters Ball match. It's Kimberly taking on Alicia Edwards, going up against Savannah Edwards, up against Jordan Grace. This match was a destructive car crash, but of course I enjoyed it. Uh, we had garbage can lids, pool cues, garbage cans, crowbars, barbed wire wrap chairs, Kenny and Kendra the kendo sticks, and thumbtacks all in this match.
And a
Uh,
fucking weight.
and a weight. Yeah, and a weight. Jordan Grace did pull out a weight. Lisha straight after Kimberly as soon as the bell rings because they got some beef. Kimberly's out here abducting swingerellas and whatnot, and Lisha don't like that shit. But Kimberly puts Grace in a garbage can, and then or Savannah Evans with in a garbage can, and hits her with the crowbar. That was a nice little touch. Lisha throws Kimber into the barbed wire chair in the corner, and she starts bleeding. She also gets killed by Alicia Edwards with the kendo
Oh my
stick,
god, that
which
shit
was
was nasty.
yes, it was wrapped with barbed wire, and she was putting it up against her face. It was very gruesome. Jordan Grace hit a muscle buster on Kimberly.
On the
Shout out to Kim
thumbtacks.
on the thumbtack. Shout out to Kimberly because she
Hell
took
yeah.
majority of the bumps for this match, all the crazy ones. She was like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'll do it." So she took the muscle buster onto the thumbtacks. Lisha also hit a nice little DDT on Grace onto some thumbtacks. Eventually, we get some powder involved, but Savannah Evans kills Alicia Edwards for the win. She stands tall in this Monsters Ball match. I gave it 2.5 stars. Nothing. Oh, spoiler alert. 2.5 stars, but destructive. It served its purpose. I had fun. How'd you feel?
I actually gave this match 3.5 stars. I would have gave it more, honestly. I felt that it wasn't as long as I wanted it to be or I expected it to be. But seeing all the carnage that they were going through is like, fuck, we can't have these ladies go through that type of shit. So it's like, um, the spot, it seemed like it kind of was a spot fest, but obviously in this type of match, that's what you're going to get. You're not looking for technical wrestling. You're looking for what crazy shit they can do in this type of match. So it was it was a lot of crazy shit going on. Yeah, I gotta agree. Shout out to Kimberly. She took some nasty bumps that getting thrown into the barbed wire wrap chair that busted her open, and then having Alicia Edwards just grind the kendo stick with the barbed wire wrapped around it across her fucking forehead. She was already
Mhm.
bleeding. That just busted her open even more. And then taking a muscle buster on the thumbtacks. All these ladies just went out there, put their bodies on the line for our entertainment. and I wish that it was longer than what it was. Pause. But
Hey, that's what she said.
that's what she said. That's what they all said because they're all she's. But yeah. So 3.5 stars out of me. I don't know why I didn't pick Savannah Evans. I picked Alicia Edwards to win this match, and she's the one that fucking ate the pin. Of course, that's just my luck in picking the winner for this match. But also, I think Savannah Evans needed this win. Like the last match that I seen, like this is like her third. This was her third match. They even said it on commentary, and her last match was a loss. You know, they lost against her and Tasha Steele. They lost against the Decay, going up for the Knockouts Tag Team title. So I think out of everybody in this match, that she needed to win the most, and it just made sense. She's quote unquote the biggest monster in this match. You know, she's known as the cannibal because she eats her opponents alive, and that's literally what she did to Alicia Edwards to pick up the victory. So shout out to Savannah Evans for dominating and getting that much needed victory.
Yep. Ninja Mortis. My only small gripe, I wish I had been a live show. I agree. I enjoy live shows more too, but that's what Bound for Glory is for.
Yep.
That's gonna be a live show. So hopefully you come watch that with us in the Bound for Glory watch along in a couple weeks.
Yep.
10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
And it's on a Saturday, so we don't want to hear no excuses, guys.
Nope. Nope. Get a 6-pack, get some beer, get some White Claws, whatever you guys are drinking, and let's get this show on the road. But that's in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the finals, well, I guess we could talk about the tag team title match, which is DK taking on the Influence, defending their tag team titles against Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood. I almost called her Emma, just like you.
Yeah, yeah.
Great shot. Madison Rayne is terrified of Rosemary. Nothing too much to know about this match. They bit each other. Rosemary bit Madison, and then Madison bit her back like a rabid dog. Decay's playing typical mind games. Influence with the distractions, of course, taking selfies. Kayla with a K being a piece of shit. Eventually gets run off by Crazy Steve and Black Taurus, which distracts the ref. And as the ref is distracted, Rosemary was down after they hit their tag team, their little double team move. But no count. Rosemary gets up, Havoc gets in, demolishes the team. They had a nice little double team on Madison Rayne. 1, 2, 3, they defend their tag team titles. I mean, decent match, nothing too crazy. I gave it 2.25 stars. This is the match that closed the show. I don't think it should have closed the show, but kudos to them. How'd you feel?
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that this should have closed the show either. The whole show is centered around the tournament, so I think that the tournament finals should have closed the show. But again, it was a decent match. Nothing too crazy. I had a few gripes about, not even a few gripes, just one main gripe about the match. The fact that both Crazy Steve and Black Taurus was out there, and Caleb with the K was involved in this match so much. Like, how is it two of you guys, and as fucking menacing and crazy that you guys are, you barely did your job out there supporting, your Decay members, because he had he involved himself a lot in this match. And the fact that both of those guys are out there and pretty much didn't do shit until like towards the end of the match, when luckily the Decay was strong enough to go out there and get the victory. But I think that they should have did a lot more. Like, there's no way that Caleb with a K should have a lot more influence in this match than Black Taurus and Crazy Steve. It's 2-on-1 far as the guys the people on the outside. At least the match on the inside, it's the Decay, Havoc, and Rosemary versus the Influence and Tennille Dashwood and shit. I had a brain fart. Tennille Dashwood and Madison Rayne. So aside from that, I enjoyed the match for what it was. I also like the spot where Tennille Dashwood and Madison Rayne for whatever fucking reason, thought they could choke slam, do a double team choke slam uh on Havoc. Havoc was like, "Yo, are you fucking serious? Like, this is not going to work. You're not about to hit me with this shit." And then she just, they had the meeting of the minds. But 2.5 stars, it was all right. Nothing too crazy. And again, I don't agree with it closing the show, but I guess since it was for a title, then it kind of makes sense. But
Yeah.
me personally, I would have rather had the Tasha Steeles versus um, Mercedes Martinez for the finals close out the show.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You can't go wrong with it. It was a title match, so I understand the booking of the show, but
Nah, I mean I get it,
you know,
but like the whole show is centered around it's
yeah, but
knockouts knockdown, so why not have that close the show out, because
yeah,
going forward, that's going to lead to your main title. That's your main title. Whoever wins the finals of this, they're going on to face uh whoever wins after Bound for Glory between Deanna Purrazzo and Mickey James. I think that's a bigger story going forward than the tag titles. Again, no slight to the tag titles, no slight to uh the decay and the influence, but just a personal opinion. I think this shouldn't have been the main event.
yeah, you're right about that. Beep boop in the comments. Sup all. What is good? Beep boop. Muy guapo Mont. The K's entrance is something else, man. Hope everyone is doing great. Thank you. We appreciate that. The K's
Yeah.
entrance is kind of
Yeah,
dope.
it's
I give
dope.
you that.
It's definitely, and the fact that it took this long for Havoc and, well, not this long because they've been teaming for a little bit, but for Havoc and Rosemary
Rosemary.
to
Yeah.
to team up, because they just, it's perfect. It's a perfect synergy. They both have similar gimmicks, and like now that they're actual team, it just seems so right. It's like we get so many makeshift tag teams, and then like after they're together, like you got to get used to them being together. Like as soon as
Hmm.
Havoc and Rosemary got together, it just felt right from the start for me personally. So as an actual team, I enjoy it. It just seems right.
Yeah, that's true. Trent Hatchett. Impact is going to be rolling if Bray Wyatt and Titan and Buddy Murphy comes to Impact. Yeah.
I'm hoping that they get. Well, I don't even know what's going on with Bray. I don't think they're gonna land him far as money. Even though
Yeah.
Anthem is a fucking like million or $1 billion company, but that's neither here nor there.
I think Bray's all elite, but I
Yeah,
think I think Impact has a big chance at Strowman, and
yeah.
I think who's the other one they said?
Buddy Matthews.
Yeah, Buddy Murphy. I think Buddy Murphy has a shot at coming to Impact
Yeah,
too. So
I hope
we'll
so.
see.
I would rather see him in Impact as well, because we know that I, not that he's going. I don't even think he'd get lost in the shuffle on in AEW, but I would just rather see him in the X division. I think that's there's so many
Yeah,
bangers we can see, and then just outside of the X division, him versus whoever else on the card or in Impact's roster. So yeah, I would rather see him there as well.
yep. And now we have to go on to the finals. It is Mercedes Martinez taking on Tasha Steele's Puerto Rico stand up.
Puerto
The
Rico.
the
Oh,
Boricuas
yeah,
meet
yeah.
for competing for a championship. Two Boricuas, I love it, or for a trophy. This match was kind of short, but it was a good match. It left me wanting more for sure.
Yeah.
Mercedes dominates at first. Tasha takes over the middle of the match. Then it starts to break down into a back and forth. But towards the end, Mercedes is just too strong, too much experience, too much veteranship, if that's even a word. And she gets the win. Well deserved win. Gail Kim comes out, presents her with the trophy. Out of all the things that Mercedes been through, finally getting her shine, getting her stage. So to show what she can do. She held her own against all the Impact women that she went up against today. She won. She looked good doing it, and I'm happy. I'm happy for her. I'm happy for Tasha because Tasha came close and she did show out in all three matches as well. So good, good showing by both women. I gave this 3 stars. How about you?
Yeah, 3 stars. I think that was a fair rating for this match because it did leave me with wanting a little bit more. Nothing too crazy, but for what we got, it was a decent match. Um, yeah, shout out Puerto Rico. Yeah, man. Like it was, I
Puerto
loved it. Going into
Rico.
this, I'm like, damn, we got the Boricua badass versus the Boricua badass. Like that's great. We don't. This is the first time I've ever even seen anything like that. You know, like we've had two women of color in Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks main event WrestleMania. And that's just the tip of the iceberg for us. So it's like there's more to a lot of. I know a lot of people. I'm going to be that guy right now. I know a lot of black people want you know they want black people at the top of the card all the times, but it's more than us. I'm always going to back my people, but it was very, 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 for me personally, it was very good to see another set of women of color uh main event, at least main event, quote unquote, this tournament, be in the finals again, because it's just showing the diversity of Impact. We have people from all over, from Russia, from I'm gonna say Canada
Canada.
because I was gonna say, yeah, Canada, well, yeah, like Canada, just all over the diversity, and was just at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Like you can be from wherever, as long as you're as long as you're good in ring, not even good, as long as you can perform in ring, and you got a good character, you're actually good in the ring. That's all I look for in my wrestling. You can I don't put too much stake on ethnicity and things like that. It's good for as representation, but I'm more so focused on what you can do in the ring. I'm never going to be that person to say, oh, I just want this person to win solely based on their ethnicity and their background of, like, oh, this guy's black, so I want him to win all the time, like things like that. That's not me personally. I know there's a lot of people out there that feel that way, but I'd rather see whoever it is, whatever your background, whatever your ethnicity, any of that, I want the best. I want the best to go out there and perform. And these two are two of the best women's wrestlers in the world. Again, like you just said, Mercedes Martinez has been through hell in the last year, from being in WWE, being, I won't say underutilized, but fuck it. No, actually, I can say that because she was underutilized because of who she is. Mercedes Martinez is a phenomenal in ring talent. She got the short end of the stick from being used in fucking a shitty ass group, which is Retribution. They're not even the fucking Gathering anymore. You see how that played out, and then she got fired after being concussed. Like, that's a shitty deal. That's a very shitty deal. So for her to come in here, show out in this Knockouts Knockdown tournament, and then to go on and win again, being on opposite ring from another phenomenal talent, Natasha Steele, somebody that was one of the faces of their Knockouts tag team division. Now going forward, she's still in the tag team division here and there, but she's really playing up on her own persona and just focusing on herself. Clearly, she has a heater, yes, but this is a side of Tasha Steele's that I like this a lot more. Slightly, I'm not gonna say a lot, I like this slightly more than how she was in Fire and Flavor, because we got the entertainment side out of her. Fire and Flavor was a great tag team. You can go check the tapes. You can see all our episodes of Blunt Impact, how much we praise her and Kiera Hogan. But like, I feel as though this attitude that she has going forward, this will make for whenever, if ever she gets a run as Knockouts champion. I think that's going to be great, especially that she has Savannah Evans as her heater. But a very good match between the two of them. Shout out to Puerto Rico once again. I'm gonna say it because I love seeing the representation. It isn't all about just us. When I say us again, I'm gonna echo it. Black people, it's about us. When we scream representation, because we say that so much. And you talk about one diversity. This is diversity. This is diversity. Diversity doesn't just mean black people. It means different faces, different backgrounds. So I really appreciate the fact that we got that out of this tournament and out of this match. So kudos to Mercedes Martinez. Now has a shot at the Impact Knockouts Championship, whenever that may be. Whether it is Mickey against Mickey James, whether it's against Deonna Purrazzo, I know that match is going to be fire, regardless of whoever she faces. Me personally, I'm pulling for Deonna Purrazzo because that's gonna be a banger. And I might just throw this out there now. This is a viable, a very strong um, option. And if Deonna Purrazzo does retain against Mickey James, that she could quite possibly be the one to beat Deonna Purrazzo. A very, very strong option, a very strong choice in who goes over and finally knocks off Deonna Purrazzo if and only if Mickey James doesn't do it at Bound for Glory.
Yeah, I agree. I'm still sticking with Mickey for now, but we'll see how the build up leads into Bow for Glory.
Deonna need that rub, man.
I know,
She needs that rub. But
I know, I know.
we'll see
We'll
when the
find
time
out.
comes. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll predict that card as we get closer to Bound for Glory. But that's it for Knockouts Knockdown. A very good Impact Plus special, and that's me and you are gonna put our thumbs up, down, or in the middle, and then we're gonna give our
You
rating.
just gave it away. You
Yeah,
just
fuck
gave
it.
it away.
Just
But
give us a
yeah,
thumbs up.
it was
Just
definitely a
give it a
thumbs up.
thumbs up.
Definitely a thumbs up.
I'm gonna give this a 7.5. I'll give it a 7.5.
Yeah,
I enjoyed this,
seven
and
and a half for me too.
the women, they're all beautiful. They all worked well. They all performed well. I mean, the vibe was right. Everything was right. This is how
Yeah.
you put together a women's tournament. This is how you put together a women's show. So good job to Impact Wrestling. MVPs, I'm gonna have to go with Mercedes Martinez, of course, for being the tournament winner, and Kimberly for putting her body through that monster's bull. She took a bunch of the bumps. She juiced for everybody. She looked great. That's just yeah. Those are my MVPs. How about you?
Yeah, mine too. I was actually going to give it solely to Kimberly off the rip because, yo, all those spots and those bumps she took in that Monsters Ball match, she's hardcore. Like I know Alicia Edwards says she's hardcore.
She
You know,
said, "Oh yeah,
that's her thing. But Kimberly went out there and showed that, like, no, she's really hardcore. You know that there's no way to gimmick barbed wire. There's no way you can gimmick that, and then there's no way to gimmick thumbtacks. Like when you take those bumps, that's some real shit. And
yeah,
she literally did that, especially getting hit with the barbed wire wrapped around the kendo stick. Like you can see it getting stuck to her tutu. Like
yeah,
that shit, like yeah, that shit was legit, bro. Like there's no way that you can fake that. So definitely, that's I'll give it to both ladies as well. But I'm going. It's 1A, 1B. My 1A
Right.
is Kimberly because of the bumps that she took in that match, and then also to Mercedes Martinez to for winning the whole Knockouts Knockdown tournament. It was greatly deserved.
yeah." An honorable mention to Masha Slamovich for looking good,
Yeah.
even though she lost, but it's all good. Match of the night. I'm going to go with Deanna and Masha. I think that was my favorite match of the night. Even I kind of liked Mercedes and Rachel too. It's a toss up between those two, but I'm gonna go with Deanna and Masha.
Yeah, that was my match of the night, honestly.
Uh,
I went very high on that match rating, and it was just good. It was a very competitive match. Like they didn't hold any punches between the two of them. Like they started as soon as the bell rang, and it really went literally till the finish of the match with when Deanna had Masha and the Venus de Milo. So kudos to both ladies. That's definitely the match of the night, in my opinion.
yep. And Jabronis of the night. Oh
It's
man,
hard
this
for
one's
me. I
tough.
like yeah,
Yeah, this one's tough.
yeah.
There's not a lot. I mean, if I had to pick any, I, I guess I'd go with Caleb with a K, just for getting his ass run off by Black Taurus and Crazy Steve, because everybody else really much played their part and was good. So sorry, Caleb.
Actually, I'm gonna go the opposite. It's gonna be for me, Black Taurus and Crazy Steve, because how the fuck again? Both of you jackasses are out there, and Caleb with a K was so active in that match. How do you not prevent him from being so? How do you not prevent him from interjecting himself in this match so much? And it's the two of you, and it just made them look stupid to me, in my opinion. Like Caleb is goofy as shit. So obviously, he's that's what he does. Like that's his thing. So there should have been no reason for him to have so much of an influence, pun intended, in this match. Crazy Steve and Black Taurus. They luckily, Rosemary and Havoc, they got the job done. But in my opinion, Crazy Steve and Black Taurus didn't do their damn job until the end. Until the end, they ran them off eventually. But it should have never happened. They should have been proactive instead of reactive.
Very, very, very true. So that'll be it for this episode. I'll update the picks on the next episode of Blunt Impact. But Ness, you picked the K to defend, and I picked the influence. So you got that one right. I got that one wrong. You also picked Mercedes to win. I picked Tasha. They ended up in the finals, but Mercedes got the win. So you got that one right. I got that one wrong. We both picked Diana.
Yeah,
So
that was a given.
yeah, which is the only win I got today. So I go 1-2. You go 3-0.
No, I
Um,
got I went 3-1. I got the Monsters Ball match wrong. I picked
that's
Alicia
right.
Edwards. Yeah, I should
Well,
have picked Savannah Evans. What the fuck
I
was wrong with me?
I picked Jordan Grace, so I got it wrong as
Not a
well.
bad pick though.
So I went 1-3. You went 3-1. So rough day in the office for me, but it is what it is. I'll update those eventually. But that's gonna be it for this knockout knockdown edition. This round table, if you want to call it that. Ness, where can we find you at?
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at skinny__Kravitz, and right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, one half of Fusion of Honor with my man, the Stat King, the man of 1,004 numbers, where we review MLW Fusion and Ring of Honor. We are finally reviewing MLW Fusion again. It's not like, bits and pieces of MLW news. No, MLW is back. We just had Fightland. Again, if you guys are subscribing to our Patreon, you can go in there, get the exclusive pics and videos. I was at the show. Great show at Fightland. A lot of exclusive stuff that you won't see for some time, for a couple weeks, because they're just now putting out shit from Battle Riot. Battle Riot was like a couple months ago. So yeah, if you want to, if you're into being spoiled, subscribe to the Patreon, go in there and see all that information. You can also catch me every Thursday night, 10:15, with my good brother Chris G. We review Impact Wrestling on Blunt Impact. You come, you bring your bong, bring your blunts, bring your joints, bring your edibles, whatever it is. We dabble in that. Review Impact Wrestling every week, 10:15. You can also catch me on NX3. Once again, Chris G, Romeo Anthony Colon. We review NXT 2.0. We know that a lot of people aren't feeling it right now, but fuck the show. Come watch us every Tuesday, 10:15. We go live. You come in, you can say how much you don't like NXT, how the old days of NXT were much better, because it was. Like we're and if you don't watch it, we're doing you guys a solid. We're putting ourselves through this shit, because again, if you would have told me that NXT was going to be worse than Monday Night Raw, I would have never believed you. But here we are, and fucking this is reality. So yeah, it's fucking crazy. You can also catch me on the watch along some nights every Wednesday for our AEW Dynamite watch alongs. Friday nights for our Friday Night Warriors. We watch SmackDown and AEW Rampage. So we're here, guys. We put in the work. We appreciate you guys for tuning in, showing us love, sending the super chat, subscribing. Share the channel with your friends, family, all your wrestling fans and friends. Do us a solid as we do you a solid, reviewing all this great content.
Couldn't have said it better myself. You can find me at True Heel Chris G on Twitter and Instagram. You could also find me here, of course, on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. We have NX3, like Ness said, Blunt Impact, like Ness said. That is Tuesdays and Thursdays, respectively, at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go live. You could also see us on the Friday Night Warriors for the most part. We do a watch along on Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage. AEW Dynamite watch along on Wednesdays for the good shows. You can catch us there for the most part. And also, we just did a Rated Raw Superstars last week, so that was my first time there. That was fun. I'm gonna try to get on more Rated Raw Superstars because
No, you're not.
Monday Night
No,
Raw is not fun, but Monday Night Rated Raw Superstars is fun. So
the
hey, there's a chance I could try to get on. If I can get on, I will definitely get on. And we have to remind you guys, follow True Heel Heat on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Heel Heat. And if you are not a subscriber yet to our Patreon, we are now on patreon.com// True Heel Heat, where we have exclusive content. You can find me and Ness on Patreon starting January 2022, doing joints and jabronis, bringing that back exclusively to Patreon. We're going to get high and we're going to watch some botches. Also on the Patreon, I believe it might drop tomorrow, but me and the good brother SP3 will be reviewing the final episode and the whole season of Heels, the hit show on Stars, which includes Stephen Amell playing Jack Spade and Alexander Ludwig as Ace Spade. And a very good show. Can't wait to break that down with the good brother SP3 so he could put me onto Easter eggs that I was too high to look for. It's true. It's damn true. If you guys haven't seen it yet, check out, where is it? Right here. True Heel Heat 146, the nuclear relaunch with Kenny Bolin, one of our most controversial but hilarious episodes of True Heel Heat with SP3, Miss Chrissy Love, and Top Guy JJ. Uh, be on the lookout for everything coming out later this week. We have Monday Roy to Raw Superstars. We had AEW Ramble earlier today, I believe that dropped. And we also have Dark Power coming out, Fusion of Honor, Blunt Impact, NX3. We got it all. Everything you could think of, we will be covering it. So we will see you guys on the next episode of Blunt Impact Live for the three-time baby making champion Ness. I am your boy Chris G from my co-host Mary Jane. We will see you guys next week. Be safe out there. If you go to a wrestling event, wash your ass, wear deodorant. I'll catch you guys next week. Hey, I'm just breaking down the facts.
don't want to smell like shit.
Motherfucker smell, man. Put some deodorant on. And I know a guy that can help you with that